I believe in climate change. You cannot tell me this is normal in LA.
What is up, Stokers? We have an epic, classic episode for you. But before we begin, JT and I are on tour. We're going to Tacoma this weekend. If you're in the Northwest area, get your tickets, chadandjt.com. It's so much fun. We're also in Palm Beach next week, Dania Beach next week. We got Sacramento coming up. We also have San Francisco, Portland, Raleigh, Washington, D.C., and much, much more. Get your tickets at chadandjt.com. And also, enjoy the show.
What's with deep? Going deep. Chad and JT.
Dude, I wasn't expecting to start so fast, so the thing I do up top, it slipped away. But pour the coffee on my head and let's get naked. What's up, Stokers of Stoke Nation? This is Chad Kroger coming in with the Going Deep with Chad and JT podcast, here with my compadre, Jean Thomas. What up?
Boom clap, Stokers.
And we are here live at ATC with Aaron on the sticks.
And,
what up?
My brother.
How you living?
I've got a cold from my kid, so not great.
Killing the vibe. Just obliterating the vibe. That's like, kids get sick. I've heard that from new parents, right? You're sick like all the time.
It's only recently. It's only as she's gotten a little older and a little more active, I guess.
Yeah, like she's out with other kids now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys see the government's coming around on China having kicked off this whole thing in a lab?
Dude, I saw that.
I know. I think
crazy.
I was very scared with COVID, but I think I am on record saying that's what I thought happened. So
I remember
listeners,
it.
Do you remember that?
I remember. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
But what do you think is going to happen? Like so like the government's admitting that it's probably a lab leak. But is the thing that like it's kind of like those labs are kind of ours as well? Yeah,
I think that was one thing that was uncovered during COVID, was that our like National Health Services, or I forget what the acronym was funding some of the research.
Yeah.
No, I don't think there will ever be like any kind of reparations for it, but I do think it'll be a big I told you so moment for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because the New York Times headline was like because I think it was Department of Energy that switched what they thought the origin was, but they were like, but other agencies haven't switched. But then the Wall Street Journal was like, no, the FBI is now on board with it. So it was like literally conflicting news headlines.
Yeah.
And that stuff always spins me and gets me extraordinarily frustrated with where we're at with my distrust towards all institutions. But specifically media ones where I'm like, I can't trust any of these people.
Yeah, and also it makes you wonder, how much have they known for like how long? Because it seems like my perception is they have the info, but they don't release it because, they wait a little bit, so it's like kind of the COVID fever will die down. And then they're like, oh yeah, it actually was a lab leak. Yeah, I think even in their minds, they're like, I project onto them like less strategy, and I think they're like, well, we don't have all the facts yet, so we need to be careful with this. But I'm like, if it was a different story and it was more in line with what you wanted to be the truth, you'd probably put it out there. Yeah.
Like, I don't think that their journalistic integrity is even across all the things they cover.
Yeah.
It does seem like they have the things that they want to be right on and the things they want to be wrong on, or the things they want to be right on. And so they won't put something out that might contradict that.
Totally.
It's great. What do you think, Aaron?
Well,
You're like the biggest lib here. It goes like this.
Yeah. It's like in lightsabers, how like Anakin's is blue and it has that glow.
Sure.
It's like you have the blue glow.
and I appreciate. I think that's a necessary thing. Yeah. You want to. It's good to have balance.
I mean, it's possible they didn't know fully at the time, and it's possible that it served no one to know, to put it out there. Like if they knew that it came from a lab in China and you just said that, like, well, then would people in America not take it seriously? Would people in America lash out? We already saw that. They lashed out at Asian people all across the country, which was a real fucking bummer. So you philosophically would be okay with the news deciding what information we can handle and what... I know I'm framing this in a real gotcha way. Is it the news that decided, or the government releasing that that information to the news.
Oh, right.
You know.
Well, that's the golden question.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like I read a book by I forget her name, Gladstone. That was about.
I would rather know everything personally, but I'm a normal person who's not going to go in the streets and rage, and I wore a mask and all this stuff. Like,
Yeah, no, in that Kissinger book, he would take order over morality. So you're in line with Henry Kissinger.
I vehemently disagree with the fact that I'm in line with him. He's a war criminal. He should be in the Hague, but whatever.
Damn.
I guess we're all in line with one another in some ways, if not all the ways. He was a big pussy hound too.
Which is odd, yeah.
Just like you, Aaron. You can't stop chasing that coon nanny.
Ooh, you dog.
You a dog, brother.
Dude, I didn't
The
know you were
Stokers
fucking
don't know,
hound
bro.
dog.
You could be getting after it, homie.
Dude, I heard Aaron when he was single, you hit him up, be like, what are you doing Friday night? Getting ass.
Getting ass, dude. People would throw you the invite. They say, come over on Friday for beers. And you go, give me the roster first. Dude, yeah. I was pretty good about that when I was younger. But when I got hornier as I was older,
Yeah.
sometimes I'd be like hanging out with five guys and I'd get itchy. And I'd be
Yeah.
like, what are we,
We're the chicks.
yeah, I'm like, we going out? Are we going out? Because, the world's out there. The action's out there.
I know, I always felt that way inside, but I don't know if I was never like the guy to like push forward and be like, we got to go talk to chicks tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Even though that's what I really wanted.
I would strong arm my friends into it sometimes
Yeah.
and kill the vibe of the evening by being
Right.
like, hey, we need to hit on chicks. And it was like a competitive thing.
Yeah.
And then, and sometimes you do have friends who you got to like cajole into it and it's good for them because they're a bit too shy. But sometimes it's like, bro, I've been on the other side where my friend was trying to cajole me into it. I'm like, bro, we're having a good time. We're talking
Right.
about interesting stuff and we're connecting. I don't think we need to go strike out 65 times tonight for it to be a successful evening.
Dude, for sure. Dude, what I would do, especially in college, is I would go to where the hot chicks were at, and I would just be in proximity.
You told me this was your style.
Yeah, I'd be in proximity, and I'd hope that they'd be like, "Hey, you and I should make out right now," and I'd be like, "That's why I'm here."
But it worked out a lot for you. I know you can't say that, but it was a
In college, I'd say so.
It was a
After
good-
after college was kind of a shock.
right because the girls in college they're out of the house, they're looking to hook up.
Yeah, we all knew each other, so it was kind of like that. You already had that kind of, we're at the same school. We kind of, even if we didn't know each other that well, we kind of know each other.
You weren't a
little
stranger,
bit.
you were vetted.
Yeah, and you had your friends all around you, but the whole idea, the whole concept of asking a girl out on a date was so foreign to me after college that there was like a year it was pretty cold.
It's tough, dude. Yeah, I remember I was seeing a therapist and I had a crush on this girl and she's like, why don't you ask her out? And I was like, are you insane?
Yeah.
Like, ask her out? Like,
Yeah.
that was crazy to me.
Yeah.
And then, you get a little older and you're like, well, that's just how things happen. But I feel like in college, you don't really ask people out. Like,
Yeah.
you just, you're going to see them at parties, you hook up, and then from there, maybe something more long-term will materialize.
Yeah.
I almost said meaningful, but I don't want to say meaningful because I think just hooking up with someone at a party once in a while can be extraordinarily meaningful.
Oh, absolutely.
And I do not want to diminish that.
No.
So to all of our college guys out there who are wondering if it's worth it, don't think about it.
Yeah.
Just have fun.
Absolutely.
Please.
Yeah.
Take it from me, who worried too much about it. Have fun.
Yeah, but Aaron, you're not getting away with that today because we know that's a front, and we know you were chasing the kunani.
Kunani? The guy who killed Versace?
Is that who killed Versace?
His name was Andrew Cunanan, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
you were
for real?
chasing that kunani, bro.
Dude.
That guy. That was a big story, man.
Oh, I know. I lived in San Diego, and that's where he was from.
I was sitting on an
Wow.
airplane, and my mom and the guy next to us, really fun gay gentleman, they were talking about it the whole flight. It was like a 4-hour flight, and it like blew people's minds.
Yeah, yeah. Because he ended up being basically a serial killer.
And then the Gucci movie, someone gets murdered in that or an attempted murder. Like, what's going on in high fashion?
Was it no good?
The movie? Yeah, it was a little, I think Ridley Scott's almost too classy of a director for the material. It was very like lurid, trashy material. And I think it needed a little more of a to die for vibe to it.
He sounds hilarious to be around.
Who?
Ridley Scott.
Yeah, he's funny in interviews.
I feel like
He's
he has
punchy.
a huge head too.
Like physically?
Yeah.
I believe it.
And also an ego wise, but like every time I see, I was watching a round table, like the True Hollywood Reporter round table, and he was there and he was just kind of alphaing everyone. He just had the biggest fucking head.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got classics from like 4 different decades now.
Yeah.
And then I think he did the Apple commercial that's like a lot of people think is the greatest commercial of all time.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where it's like kind of Blade Runner-y, right?
No,
or it's 1984.
1984, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a totalitarian world, and like that commercial was like at the Super Bowl, and like after that, everyone was chasing it. They were like, "That's the kind of commercial I want to make."
He started in commercials, right?
I think so. A lot of great directors. David Fincher too.
Yeah.
Music videos.
Good way to cut your teeth. So
Music
yeah.
videos is the way they started.
So you college guys who are out there boning afterwards, try and get into directing some commercials.
Dude, getting back to geopolitics, have you ever heard of this guy, Peter Zahan?
No.
He was on Rogan, and his whole thing is he's an expert in geopolitics, and he's forecasting that like China's going to collapse in like 10 years, and like Russia's going to collapse in 10 years. All this crazy stuff. And also he says that we're at the end of like globalization and kind of...
Oh no, we're going to get more tribal?
He's basically saying that the way the world was prior to World War I is kind of economy-wise, that's what we're going back to.
Oh, nice. More like industry, but in the specific nation it's producing for?
Yeah, so he says that like America is in a really good spot because we can kind of be self-sufficient in that way. But then a lot of the countries that do tons of importing, with like Russia, for example, they're like agriculture and stuff. And then like China, they're like on a ticking time. And also a huge factor that he is, the birth rate has gone down in those countries so much, just in general. But in those countries, their population is so old that they don't have enough people to like fill in the spot.
Yeah, and they're working on, that was like their advantage too, right? Was just the raw numbers. Like they could put so many people into those difficult jobs. And then if you don't have the workforce, what do you got?
I know, it's crazy because you
I just wanted to turn that into like a real test of your metal china.
Dude, yeah.
They don't want it.
They heard it, dude.
They don't want that smoke.
Is your TikTok open? Because they just heard that.
Yeah, what? That's crazy. They did a good job with that.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
kudos
awesome.
to China on
I mean, it's
TikTok.
smart, dude.
It'll keep you on there forever.
Yeah, I
It's
think
so funny.
It
There's
is.
so much funny stuff on there.
you have ghosts, you have farts, you have everything.
And the stuff that makes me laugh, it's just couples fighting. I love that.
Yeah.
And then I love MMA clips. I find them all hilarious. This is like mean, but there was a clip circulating the other day. It just had me dying. I'm actually not going to say what it is.
Dude, Jake Paul lost.
Dude, I watched it on the drive home from Ohio with Jake. Jake was driving. He put the fight on. Man, they get you every time. He's not a great boxer. Tommy Fury seems like a good guy. Not a great boxer. So the buildup is so dramatic and exciting. And then you watch the fight and you're like, I mean, look, they both beat the shit out of me. But you watch the fight and you're like, these guys suck.
Right.
Relative to like Terrence Crawford or someone like that, they just blow.
Yeah.
And you're not seeing great athleticism. So you're like, you're actively upset at yourself as you're watching it. You're like, I can't believe they got me invested in this bullshit.
Mm-hmm. And you had to buy it, right?
Yeah, I think it was expensive as fuck.
Damn.
Jake might have had like a.
He streamed it.
He's you know, he's smart. He knows
Yeah.
what he's doing. So he
Yeah.
probably had a thing going. But yeah, he lost. And then he did that thing that fighters do where they're like, I'm not here to make excuses. Hats off to Tommy. He won that fight. Takes a beat. And then he's like, I got sick twice during the training camp, hurt my ankle. You're like, you just said you weren't going to make excuses.
Yeah.
He's like, no excuses though. Hats off to Tommy. I'm like, dude. And I get it. Like, I guess fighters, you don't want to say that in the run up to the fight because that'll make us less invested. We're like, oh, he's compromised. Or you don't want the opponent to think you're weak. But I don't know. If I was a fighter, I would be transparent. Like, I'd be walking to the ring. They're like, how do you feel? I'd be like, nervous, and I kind of slept bad last night. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's go. I'm just telling you, that's how I feel. That's just where I'm at right now.
The little thing. Nervous and slept bad.
Yeah, exactly. Cracking my neck, rolling my shoulders.
And then if you win, that makes it way more triumphant.
I think so.
Yeah. The whole ego, the theatrics of it. If you were a fighter, what kind of fighter do you think you would be in terms of the promotion?
Oh, the promotion? I think I would be like Robert Whitaker or George St. Pierre or Fedor Emelianenko. Kind of, they really try to be respectful of their opponent, and they'll talk shit back. Like George St. Pierre has a good clip where this guy's like, I think he's afraid of me. He's like, man, are you crazy? You think I'm afraid of you? Come on, man. I'm not afraid of you. Like, he'll stand up for himself, but he's very much just like, he admits to being afraid. He admits that fighting is stressful. He was the best fighter in the world, but he would never even claim it. He'd be like, there's always some guy who can beat you out there. And he was like very humble. And sometimes I think it's false humility. Like, you know, because they've picked a lane and they got to kind of stick to it. But I like it. I like thinking that their skills are tied to their goodness as a person. And I know nothing about them actually, but they present that way.
Yeah.
Who would you be? You'd be Conor McGregor, dude. You'd be throwing dollies through bus windows.
Dude, that's what I've always wanted to do. You nailed it right there.
You'd light their cars on fire with Molotov cocktails.
Yeah.
I'll see you in the ring, bitch.
I think I would try to do that. You know, I think I would get in my head, be like, this is what you need to do to be like one of the top fighters. And I would try it, and then I would do like a video being like, you know, your wife, I'm gonna fuck your wife or something.
Yeah, really get into that. How would you say that?
I'd be like, Connor, you look like shit. I'm gonna fuck your wife.
That's pretty good. That's not bad. You know, the best trash talk is very simple.
Dude, very simple, just
No
straight
extra
up and
words.
just like, because I guess the theatrics of Jake Paul is he has a cigar, he has like a champagne. It's like kind of like, but if I was just into the camera, just straight up, you know, just looking straight down the barrel and just like, you look like shit. I'm gonna fuck your wife. I think it's more effective.
There's a glee in your eyes too, where you seem really happy about it, and I think that's better. Because I don't think you should go for menacing, where you're like, "Hey, I'm gonna fuck you up, and then I'm gonna fuck your wife."
Yeah.
I think it's kind of more fun if you're like, "Hey, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you, and then I'm gonna fuck your wife," and you're like laughing about it. That'd be kind of scary.
Dude, yeah. That'd be the fucking the Joker.
Yeah, I was talking to someone about that. Connor's bumming me out because he was the best shit talker, but now he just goes to. It started with the Khabib fight, where he's like, "Your father's in bed with like Chechnyan terrorists. You took money from that rat," and it might be true, but I'm like, is this really relevant to the fight? Like, he went like hardcore. I don't like it when they start talking about the guys' wives and like their parents. I'm like, out of bounds, bro.
Yeah.
Out of bounds.
Yeah. It's it's very interesting to watch.
Yeah,
It can be kind of infuriating seeing like just knowing how much money they make.
Oh, dude. Well, the UFC fighters don't make that much money.
I was referring to Jake Paul.
Oh, Jake Paul. Yeah.
But the fighters, I think they deserve as whatever they're getting and more for sure.
Yeah, it's insane. Like there's so much stuff that makes a lot of money that I don't think is great, but I try to be like a capitalist about it and be like, look, if there's a audience that wants to purchase it, there's probably some merit to it.
Yeah.
Because it just keeps me more sane than being upset at like the world for liking things that I think are trash. But with Jake Paul, you're like, how is this guy worth, like, what's he worth? Let's look it up. Like $100 million or something?
Around there. It's got to be.
How much is Jake Paul worth?
I mean, I got to hand it to him. He's a really good troll and really good at publicity and promo. And, you know, he does train.
His net worth, $38 million.
38 million.
You know what? I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I thought he was at 100. See, because I thought he was at 100. Now that I know he's at 38, 38's, well, fucking, it's a lot.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's not 100. Loser.
Bitch.
He's a loser. Do you know how much money I make? A huge fraction of that, dude. Dude, a dramatic fraction of that. Doing all right though, but come on, man, that's insane. Dude, I did couples counseling before this.
Oh, right before?
Yeah.
How'd it go?
Dude, sobbed my eyes out.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you seem light. Like you
I got a
had
lot
a good
out.
release.
Yeah. Dude, I was, I have some like jealousy stuff. We got to the root of that. It's childhood stuff. You know, little chaotic of an upbringing, Love you, mom and dad. And dude, yeah, it was good. I just fucking, whoa.
That's
It came
nice.
out, brother.
Yeah.
I was bawling.
How quickly into the sesh did you start crying?
Like 20 minutes, because I didn't know I was going to get into all that stuff. She was like, well, like, what's underneath that? And I was like, it was even hard for me to bring up, because I was like, fuck, man, I don't want to, like, we're getting along. I don't want to cause problems. But I was like, fuck, man, but it's like causing me a lot of frustration and anger. So I said some things that had like upset me. And they were like, well, where do you think that comes from? And I was like, and there's something when you're like, you know, I'm 35. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm defined by my childhood.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I've talked about all this stuff before. None of it's, I'm not turning over new rocks. But she had never heard it. And then she'd heard it a little bit, but my partner, and then you just start going. And then it's like momentum, and then more stories start coming in. And then pretty soon you're like, and then having it be validated by my partner where she's like, yeah, that's like crazy. And then you're like, yeah, but I'm like a spoiled kid too. So I'm like, it was still really nice. Like I had a dirt bike.
Yeah.
And then when it was sick. But then like it just, it was very bonding for us.
That's good.
And yeah, and it felt good to just get it out, purge it.
Yeah.
And yeah. Good job to our therapist, Lily. Fucking pulled the top off.
It's actually much more attractive and strong to be that vulnerable.
Thanks, man.
And I think your partner, you know, because from what I gather, I think you know, your girlfriend, they just want you to be honest. They want to know that you are honest with them. So I feel like they want to know that you're honest with them, so that anything like, I think they don't want to be like blindsided by like, well, I didn't know you felt that way, and now you're, you know, cheating on me or all
Right.
that, you know what I mean? I think they want full transparency, as far as I know, mostly full, so that there's no kind of, that they know where they're at, and they know how you're feeling.
And I think, and so they know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Like, I think it helped her understand a lot of my stuff to hear the whole story.
Yeah.
And then it all made sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I hadn't even really thought about that I was probably being, that I would react sometimes, because I can get hot-headed. And
Yeah.
like, I think she'd be like, whoa, like, where the fuck is this coming from?
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And then in my head, I'm like, it's coming from you. Like, you did this.
Yeah.
And it's because of that. And because you did this other thing. And this means that. This
Yeah.
means that, like, you know, you're going to fuck me over or something like that.
Right.
And then she'd be like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? And then when I tell her the whole story, she's like, oh, duh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It like,
Right.
it all pieces together. And she's like, yeah, you do that because you feel like this. And it makes sense for you to feel that way because of this.
Right.
And I'm sorry to keep using like vague stuff, but yeah, it's no, I think it was really, really helpful.
Yeah, I try to my relationship be more, you know, like when I feel something, to speak about it, because I've always struggled with that, just holding stuff in, and because I've always had this thing of like, it's probably abandonment issues, of just being terrified of hurting someone's feelings.
Right, like
So-
if you let them down, they might
Yeah.
dip or something like that.
I think it's probably a combo of things. It's probably like I've probably placed too much, like you've always said, people are like stronger. You know, people are strong. They can
take a hit.
Yeah, they and I've always sort of placed like a kind of delicacy on people, where I'm like, I don't want to make them feel bad, and so.
But then you put it all on your shoulders.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You take on a ton.
Yeah, and then
Which is badass, but you should probably spread it around a little bit.
yeah, I mean, my traps are huge. And so, but it's, you feel better, and the relationship is better when you feel something, you say it, and so they know where exactly sort of where you're coming from and how you're feeling.
Yeah, and for me, it's like I'm bad at like not saying what I'm feeling, and I don't want someone who's around me to feel like they can't say what they feel to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's
Yeah.
really important to me, that they can say anything to me.
Right.
Like, even the stuff that will hurt my feelings. Because
Yeah.
I really don't want people to be on eggshells around me.
Yeah,
You know what I
totally.
mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And if you're being sensitive and reactive, people aren't going to tell you what they're feeling, or like, because they're going to be worried about how you react to it.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's like, even if you feel strong in that moment, it's not real because it could crumble if you get the wrong input.
Yeah,
and I want to
totally.
be like in a place where I can hear and take anything and still know who I am and where I'm at on shit.
Yeah.
And and I feel closer to that now. It was funny too, like, to pivot a little bit, like Andrew Tate had a clip, and I think Andrew Tate, like, I don't know what like he did criminally. He might have done it. I have no idea. But like, there's a lot of stuff he says that I'm like, that's disgusting, man. But then he says some stuff, and I'm like, he is a good talker, and I think even awful people make good points.
Yeah.
And he's made some points where like there's stuff he said that I've liked on Instagram. But he had one thing where he was saying like Barack Obama's a bitch and his wife punks him all the time, and like he had some fair criticisms where he's like, they cry about gentrification and then they live in a super expensive, probably white dominated neighborhood. And I'm like, yeah, it's fair. Like a lot of politicians don't live in a way that's consistent with their message. But then he said like Obama cried after a school shooting and like what a pussy he was, and that he should have had solutions instead of tears. And again, I do not disagree with the fact that solutions are the most important thing a leader can provide. You know what I mean? Like fix the problem. But I commented, I was like, yo, I don't think it's bad for him to have cried, especially given the moment. You know what I mean? And then someone was like, leaders don't cry. I'm like, well, I read a book about Churchill. Churchill cried with citizens of England all the time during World War II, whether they be like Royal Air Force pilots, factory workers, just ordinary citizens. And it meant a lot to them because they didn't expect a guy who they perceived to be in an ivory castle to understand what they were going through in that moment.
Yeah.
And they felt strengthened by how empathetic he was to their situation. And then like Ronald Reagan understood the scope of tragedy. And then so I wrote all that. And then I was like, you know, I do think a leader they're kind of showing us how we should feel about a moment sometime. They're guiding us emotionally through this shit. And I think that is important. That's part of the job. And then a guy was like, no American president has ever cried. And then I Googled it. The videotape's only been around for like 80 years. 8 presidents on camera crying.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I told the guy, go cry about it. And then another guy talked shit to me and I said, shut up, bitch. And then I almost got banned from Instagram for
really?
For threatening someone. Yeah. And then but it was interesting to me because I was just like, I agree the solutions are more important, but like a president can't be emotional. Like what's he supposed to do after a school shooting? Like be like, just stoic? Like what?
It probably wasn't just a school shooting too. It was fucking Sandy Hook.
Sandy Hook, yeah.
20
Yeah,
kids.
like-
I remember that.
like
That stuck with me when he cried after that.
Yeah, totally.
That you really felt that.
yeah, you want to know that they care.
Yeah.
You want to know that the president gives a fuck.
Yeah.
And that they understand tragedy, especially like you're talking to the families of the people that shit happened to. And what, you're just going to be like, how does you being like stoic in that moment serve them?
Yeah.
I don't think that's not being helpful.
Yeah, it's not like the president is. It's not like a meteor or comet's coming, and it's like he's crying about it. Then I
Yeah.
think he needs to be strong.
I said that in one of my comments. I said I don't think they should cry out of fear or out of like hopelessness.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that's helpful.
Yeah.
Because it was like when we talked to that Navy SEAL when he came on, and we were talking about crying in the military. He's like, look, I don't want you to cry to me right before we go through a door to like, you know, get into a firefight with terrorists. But if we're back at like the base and you're emotional, like please share it with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's situational for sure.
Totally.
But
I mean, Sandy Hook was. I mean, kids being shot. You can cry.
you should probably cry.
Yeah.
Andrew Tate's like he's a bitch.
Yeah. Andrew Tate. How many children does Andrew Tate have exactly?
Dude, he has
0.
kids. I didn't realize that.
Well, he
And
wasn't thinking about them in that moment. That's for sure.
Yeah, but like what if his kids got hurt? Like you're just gonna be like
I
iron
can't-
about it?
My daughter just started preschool. I can't fucking imagine.
Oh,
I mean, I would just go fucking ballistic.
Yeah.
dude, I'm that way about my dog.
There's not a sheriff's department. I think I've mentioned some on the podcast before. There's not a sheriff's department in the world that could keep me from attacking that gunman with my fucking fists.
Oh yeah.
Because it's just It's like you put everything into this kid.
Yeah, you'd be like one of those dudes in the courthouse who jumps across the table and he's like,
Yeah.
Have you seen the one? God, I love those videos I talked about before, where the dad's like, give me 5 minutes with him. And they're like, no. He's like, 2 minutes. He's like negotiating.
Yeah.
And they're like, no.
2 minutes.
And then he just bombs across the courthouse and jumps on the guy.
Yeah.
And like the cops, as they're pulling him off, they're saying sorry to the dad. They're like,
Yeah.
sorry, man, sorry. Like, we
Yeah.
can't let you just like annihilate this dude.
And they can't. And you know, yeah, it's
I actually think that's why I've been so emotional and reflecting on all that stuff, is because now that I got kids coming, it's making me think about a lot of stuff. And I'm just like, it's making me think about growing up and what I liked and what I didn't like. And it's really put me in, like, this protector in me's been kicked up because I got to look out for these kids.
oh yeah.
And it's really made me like think about how I want to do that. So
Get ready, man. It's gonna color how you watch everything, how you intake all your pop culture, all your culture. It's crazy.
I'm looking forward to it. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. I watched Air Bud last night in a totally different
Was it
light.
different, bro?
Dude, yeah. I was like, this movie is not chill.
Hey, no rule that says a dog can't play football.
Dude, that's what I kept saying. The dog was looking at me. She's like, I was like, listen, you can play.
You can do this. You got to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. She can run routes. I actually
Yeah.
commented on one of your dog's videos that
I
she
saw
looks like a
that.
good athlete.
Dude, yeah, thank you, yeah.
Dude, you know, the real part for me in Air Bud that sticks with me to this day, and this might be different now that I know I'm having kids, but when the coach of the opposite team tells his teenage strong safety, it's time for the late hit on the dog. And the dog, it's after the play, and the dog's like, oh, the ball, good job. And the kid just smokes him, just blindsides the dog.
Makes me mad.
You mad?
Yeah.
What a good soldier that kid is, though. Just fucking annihilating the golden retriever. Dude. I knew kids like that in high school. If the coach would have been like, hey, Marinovich, get over here. You're taking out that dog. Yes, coach. Actually, the guy I'm referencing wouldn't have done that, but someone else would have.
The dog's helmet flies off.
Yeah. They take it off on a stretcher. Dude, it's funny too. I always do this with girlfriends. Like, I used to show one of my ex's Rogan clips, trying to like be like, come on, he's cool. Like, it was Rogan talking about happiness. I'm like, this is undeniable. And my girlfriend was like, I don't like him. And I was like, that's bullshit, blah, blah, blah. But then I was showing my girlfriend a Jordan Peterson clip that I liked. And again, I don't agree with everything he says, but sometimes I think he says things well. And then, she thought it was so lame.
Yeah.
And this is the criticism I hear of Jordan Peterson a lot, beyond like the more identity politics stuff that I don't know why he's always talking about it, honestly. I'm more interested in just like the broader life philosophy stuff. But he's talking about like, you got to be a man. You got to take on responsibility. You got to have a wife and a kid and a passion, and you got to look out for those things. That's what life's about, is taking on the responsibility. And my girlfriend was just like, that's the most basic bullshit ever. And then I think it's funny, as dudes, I think we need to feel, for me, I need to feel like there's like a romantic, like heroic quality to just doing basic shit.
Yeah.
And I think that's what he feeds.
Right.
Is that he's like, look, you make your bed in the morning. That's what a warrior does. And you're like, yeah, I'm a warrior when you make your bed.
Yeah.
And it's silly that us guys have to feel that way, but I need that. Like, I got to feel heroic when I'm like, when I make breakfast in the morning for the two of us. I'm like, yeah, I'm a man, dude.
Yeah.
I made breakfast.
There is something about, dude. The funny thing is that I'll listen to podcasts to go to sleep. I listen to like Lex Friedman, and then it turned on to the Jordan Peterson episode while I was sleeping. So my dream last night was just Jordan Peterson.
Responsibility, dude.
I was like kayaking down a river, and he's like, and you should be worried about that too. You should be bloody worried about it, cause life is hell. You know. And I was like, in my dream, I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I woke up, I was like, oh, dude, it was crazy.
Yeah, it made me laugh too, thinking about like writers like that, like Lao Tzu.
Yeah.
I read his stuff. I loved it.
Yeah.
I love all that paradoxical shit where
Yeah.
it's like the meaning is the non-meaning. That stuff always speaks to me, because that's
Yeah.
how I kind of think about it. But I was just laughing about him being like, writing one of his poems where he's like, it's not the spokes of the wheel that make it turn, it's the whole. It's the emptiness where movement comes from. And then his wife comes in and she's like, hey, Lau, you promised you'd clean the chicken coop 2 weeks ago. He's like, I'll get to it. Hold on. I have to write romantically about what it means to clean a chicken coop. She's like, just fucking clean it, dude. And then he's like, no, hold on. The chicken coop is full of shit, but the shit provides the smell that lets us know it's bad. And only then when I understand the bad can I turn it into good. And she's like, just clean it, please, dude. Just clean the chicken coop.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Should we dive into cues?
Yeah, should we do some cues? Dude, I've been digging this. I know some people were like, hey, like, stick with reading them. But I like hearing their voices.
Yeah, me too.
We're all on the other side.
Dude, that was nice what Aaron said, our co-star from Unstable.
What do you say?
He said we were good in the show.
Oh, yeah.
Coming out March 30th, guys, on Netflix. Because you know what? I wasn't actively stressed about it, but when he said that to me, I felt a release.
Yeah, I was like...
Because you don't know. You wait 7 months to see if you're good or not. You have no clue.
That's the thing with acting, yeah. It's like... But he said that, and then we heard that an exec said that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, hopefully we're good in it, man. I'd love to...
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'd like to get better at acting.
I hope it gets traction.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. That'd be a nice plum gig. It was fun, too.
Super fun.
Crew is great. Cast is cool. Aaron's a great guy.
What up, Chad and JT?
Oh,
this
baby.
is Riley calling in. I'm on vacation with my dank-ass girlfriend out here in Oahu.
Hell yeah.
We were leaving LAX when I'm buying a smoothie, and I turn around and I notice Caesar Milan is behind me. And Chad, he was just your babe of the week on an episode. And I'm grabbing my smoothie, and Caesar taps me on the shoulder, and he goes, "Is that a berry blast?" And I go, "No, Caesar, this is a berry bliss." And he thinks I'm stealing his smoothie, and he gets a little weird for a second. And then I've, reassured him, "No, this is my smoothie," and do with that information what you will. I just wanted to let you know he was kind of an asshole. Thanks, guys. Keep doing all the great work.
Well, dude, thank you for your wonderful reporting. Here's my reading on it. And maybe ordinarily I'd be like, that dude's a bitch. And that's still in play. But Caesar Milan, right? He works with dogs that have experienced puppyhood trauma, right? And he helps them work through it. Where do you think a guy like that gets that kind of empathy? Probably because he experienced childhood trauma. And so what I'm thinking is, way back in the day, dude, before Caesar was Caesar Milan, people were grabbing his smoothies disrespectfully, maybe at home, maybe at school, maybe everywhere. And so he's hyper reactive when it comes to those kind of Jamba Juice interactions.
Dude, well said, man. So you're saying he got punked so much that he's on the defense.
He's wired for it, dude. His central nervous system, he sees someone grab a smoothie and there's a lifetime of pain there.
Yeah. And also, he's a dog whisperer. Some say he is a dog. He's territorial.
Yeah.
Did he piss on that smoothie?
I was just thinking that.
Maybe. Because, if
his wet hand goes for the same smoothie as you.
Yeah. I mean, you may have ordered the Berry Bliss and he ordered the Berry Baja Blast or whatever. But did he piss on it? If he pissed on it, that's his smoothie.
And dude, mass respect to the caller for how you handled that situation where he's like, hey, is that the Berry Blast? And you're like, no, it's the Berry Bliss. Like, I think a lot of people would have been flummoxed in that moment and be like, they sound the same. It's the same amount of syllables. And you were like, no, there is a very important distinction here. And so I need you to blast away while I experience some bliss.
Dude, that was really well said. And also, he could have Caesar Milan'd him himself, where Caesar Milan would say back, no, I have the Berry Bliss. And then he could go, tss, tss.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's Caesar Milan. When a dog is acting up, let's say a dog is jumping on me, right? He doesn't want the dog to jump on people. He'll push the dog back and go, tss, tss, tss. And the dog is like, will freak out. He's like, what? And he's like, tss. He's like, I'm in command. So if he said, hey man, I got the Berry Bliss, and then Caesar's like, no, I got the Berry Bliss, and then you go, tsh.
That's some Jedi stuff right there.
Yeah.
Dude, also, I've been trying to get my girlfriend to piss on me a little bit.
Dude, nice.
Yeah. And I'm down to piss on her, too. And she thinks it's weird. Hunters, like, they put, like, deer piss on themselves when they go hunting to attract the male, like, bulls over, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's natural. It's very natural.
I've always wanted a golden shower.
Because here's the thing, dude. Life is long.
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to go through this whole experience not doing that once in a while?
Are you...
I think it's good for... She's very put together and she's elegant, you know? There's a time and a place.
Are you going to go your whole life experiencing pee with two of the senses? Touch and see? Maybe you can smell it too. But are you going to taste it?
Am I going to hear it? Oh, I do have...
Yo, what up, boys? So I found myself in quite a predicament here, and I'm interested to hear y'all's opinions on it. So my best friend for a long time, right as I was about to move away, he ended up actually secretly dating my ex-girlfriend for a couple months behind my back. And I ended up moving away and cutting him out of my life. And now they're married now, but there's a predicament coming up. I have a lot of mutual friends' weddings that I'm going to be flying back into town for, and I've yet to see the two of them together or talk with him face-to-face about it, just due to a lot of stuff and how it was handled and because I was moving across the country and such. But, yeah, all my old best friends are still good friends with him, so we're going to be all in the same wedding, partying together, and I want to know the best course of action, in y'all's opinion, to handle these situations. I mean, I've been killing it in life, and I've forgiven him, and I've moved past it, but it's still definitely going to be an uncomfortable situation. So I'm interested to hear what you boys have to say, what you recommend on how to approach this. Thanks, boys. Thanks for the stoked.
Dude, thanks for the cue. It sounds like you are genuinely happy about where you're at in your life. I would be pissed off at my buddy too. The fact that they're married, but all things get easier with time. If this has been like a couple years and you guys, especially if you were young when it happened, like if you're under like 25 when that happens, it's a little bit like everyone's messy. I mean, and you know what? Everyone stays messy too. It's just life. But you don't want to miss out on your good friends' weddings, especially if it's just because you're overthinking, and understandably so, what it's going to feel like when you're there. I think you do kind of owe it to yourself to find out and just know whatever it is, even if you don't have to have the best time at the wedding. I think it's okay if there's moments where you feel awkward. I just think the important thing is showing up, because you don't want to not do something because something that could be something you want to remember because you're afraid of whatever it is that might happen when you're there. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta go, dude. And you know what? I would go. I'd be nice. I would be friendly with everyone, and I would try to have sex with her. Just once.
Yeah.
Right? I think I was doing good, and then I kind of bricked the landing.
I was thinking you do a big entrance at the wedding. You don't keep it low key. You don't come in and say, "Hey man, you want to go talk before we get down?"
No.
You come in with intro music.
Shawn Michaels type stuff.
Shawn Michaels, a fog machine.
I know I'm hot.
The whole...
I think I'm sexy.
Yeah, the whole wedding goes dark. And then one spotlight just shines on you. And you're shirtless. And then you try to have sex with that girl.
Yeah, definitely got to take a crack at that. Cause fuck them. But I also think, and I take a lot of wisdom from this. There's a movie called The Wedding Date with Deborah Messing and Dermot Mulroney, and it is cute. It is very, very cute. And Mulroney plays a gigolo who she hires to come to a wedding because it's a similar situation to this where her ex is going to be there, and she wants a handsome, strapping guy at her side. And then, of course, they fall in love. So I think, brother, your life's killing it. Bring us smoke, dude. Bring us smoke, dude. And you know what? Beyond the smoke, bring someone where the vibe is smoke. And then everyone's going to be like, dude, what's this guy's name?
I don't even know.
Dolan McMichaels?
Dude, good call. I think too. Go ahead, sir. I think too. Just call this guy. Just be like, bro, I'm killing it. Hang up.
I love that. Dude, whatever makes you feel better, dude. And that's not that bad. That's not like offensive. Some people might say it's like embarrassing or corny. I would tell those people, read a book about someone great. They didn't worry about being corny. They just shot their shot. So you call this guy up and go, I'm killing it. You've both put on weight. Click. Click. Gayer. Look, man, there's no wrong move. The only wrong move is not making one. So go in there and swing with what you got.
Big dick player.
Don't be afraid to go in there with a wound either. Like a bandaged gunshot.
Oh, right. I thought you were talking emotional.
No. Fuck that.
Peg leg.
Come in with a peg leg and still dance your ass off.
Yeah.
Because then everyone's going to be like, what have you been up to? And be like, Merchant Marines. I don't even know what those are.
Not
but I know
at
they're
all.
hard men with tattoos. And then be like, been on the sea, fighting with pirates off of Somalia. Seen Captain Phillips? It's the PG version. Yeah, they came onto our tanker. They had ladders, AKs. What'd you do? I fucked all of them.
It's awesome.
That's all I got. All right, one more. Chris Gardner.
Yeah.
I think that was good advice.
All right, so what's going on to all those
Legend.
who may be listening? My name is Chris Gardner.
One of the best ever.
Mr. Chad Kroger asked me to call in and talk about this so-called foot fetish of mine. Now, I'm a comedian, and I have a very popular bit that involves feet, right? But what many people don't understand is that I don't necessarily have a foot fetish. I don't have some weird fetish specifically for feet. You understand? But I do appreciate a good foot. You understand? I have an appreciation for a good foot on a woman. Just, soft, smooth, sleek, not crusty. I appreciate that. And a big thing for me that I look whenever I see a girl's foot, one thing I pay attention to is if she has a full pinky toenail. You understand? Because at times women don't have full pinky toenails. They have that real small, that real tiny, piece of a toenail, man. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They have a real small pinky toenail, a little tiny piece of nail. I call it a piece of nail. And I'm not into that personally. I'm not knocking those who have it. I personally am not into that. Now, if I'm liking a woman, she happens to have that, it's not a deal breaker. It's just something I'm not into, man. So I always look for a full ass pinky toenail. Crucial to a good foot. So yeah, man, I don't have an overall foot fetish. It's more so an appreciation for a pretty, well-kept foot with a full pinky toenail. That's it. All right.
Chris is a great guy. We got to get him back on.
Absolutely.
Congrats to JT for the baby.
Oh, thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
Legend. Man, he's a fun guy to do psychedelics with.
Oh yeah.
Because he's already kind of on psychedelics.
always.
So it just kicks it up to a region that most people never get to. Chris, well said, man. Here's the thing. I like feet too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I heard another luminary of the black community, Kevin Gates, talk about this, where they were like, "You got a foot fetish." He's like, "It's not that I got a foot fetish." He's like, "It's that I talk about feet, and people say I got a foot fetish." He's like, "But I talk about all the parts of the body. It's just y'all notice when I talk about feet. So it might be 10% of what I like about a girl, but y'all fixate on it like it's 90% because y'all don't like it or don't think about it or are embarrassed about it." And I think that's what it is.
Yeah, totally.
It's the whole kit and caboodle, but it is what carries you.
Right.
Do you like feet?
I've never been to feet. It's never even like sexually crossed my mind.
What are you? You're a face guy.
Face, butt, butthole.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Because I keep track of what people mention in terms of what they want. And that's the thing I've heard you mention the most, is that you want to eat butt.
Yeah, I want a good butthole.
And 69.
Yes. Yeah.
My dog. You know what's so funny?
Mm.
I like licking butt. I'm not a big 69 guy.
No?
We have such balance, dude.
Nice.
Dude, me and Chad, we've been like making our own videos. And then I really do feel like, I'm like, oh, it's missing something. It's missing
The balance.
the 69 guy. I'm over here, dirty talk missionary. And I'm like, there's something missing. I'm like, and it's the playfulness that's missing.
Right.
Because mine's all intensity. And I'm like, where's the playfulness? Where's the 69?
Right. Well, then I don't have the dirty talk.
I want to get nasty.
Yeah. You're getting nasty.
You want to feel nasty, though.
I'm being nasty, but I'm not audio. There's no audio nastiness except for the sounds that we're making.
And you're a little bit of a masochist. You want to get into the muck.
Oh yeah. Make sure you check out Chris Gardner's special on YouTube.
Yeah, dude.
Chris Gardner shit. It's on YouTube. Well, Jake, throw in a link. If you search on YouTube, throw in a link in the description.
Yeah, let's have him on. Dude, he'd be
Yeah.
great for the live stream one.
He'd
Because
be-
we want
I
to
love-
live stream one. I don't know if
Yeah.
we should do the draft just because they'll tell us what to pick.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? But he would be fire on that.
I think he'd be great.
Because he can roll with shit. He's a fucking tank. He's so funny. Yeah, check out his special, guys. He's so funny.
Should we get into the?
Yeah.
I gotta be kind of quick with these.
Okay, let's
I'm
go quick. Let's
sorry.
go quick. What's your beef of the week?
My beef of the week is our landlord. So my girlfriend got locked out while we were in Miami, and it was late at night. And the landlord, I was hounding them. I was like, "Hey, can you guys unlock it? Can you?" Landlord doesn't do lockouts, and I'm like, "What does that mean?" And they're like, "We don't unlock it. You should get a locksmith." I'm like, "But you have a key, right?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "So why can't you go unlock the door? I pay rent. This is my place. This is ridiculous." And they're like, "It's our policy." I'm like, "So you're gonna make me pay money to get a locksmith to unlock the door when you have a key?" And they're like, "Yeah." I lost my skull, dude.
I would be so frustrated.
Isn't that the most annoying?
You're sitting on the solution.
They have the key.
Yeah.
So my beef is with landlords.
Just like arbitrary boundaries where you're like, I get it. They don't want to have to do that for every tenant, but you're like, you probably should just do that for every tenant if you
Yeah.
have the keys.
Especially if it's the weather's been, it's rainy, it's cold.
It's the worst weather. Dude, it snowed outside of LA.
Yeah, let her in the fucking house. Friggin' dickwads.
I believe in climate change. On record now.
That should be the 5-second teaser.
Yeah, I do. I believe in climate change. You cannot tell me this is normal in LA. I know the earth goes through cycles, whatever. I'm throwing in with the climate change people. I believe them. And I don't agree with the people who don't want to have kids because of climate change, because it'll reduce the carbon footprint, because then we'll save the earth for nobody. Keep fucking. Off point. I believe in climate change. Not like I believe in it like I'm rooting for it. Like I believe that it's happening and that LA is wetter than it normally is. And not wet like Prince is walking down the Sunset Boulevard. Wet like torrential downpour. For you pervs out there.
Keep fucking, America.
But yeah, keep fucking. Keep fucking. Pervs and non-pervs.
Aaron, can you put on me for a sec?
Did you fist her?
No, I just came into the screen.
Oh, nice.
Came into the camera.
Dude, I multiple the other day.
Whoa.
Masturbating.
Dude.
I multiple. Yeah, not as cool. Is that not as cool? I did, bro. Funny, 2 stories real quick. I'll make this my beef of the week, even though it's not a beef. One, me and my girlfriend were arguing, and she's like, "You know what the problem is that you're too horny, and I can feel it all throughout the house when you're horny."
That's hilarious.
And I'm like, "That's not the problem." I'm like, "That's always in the mix," but I'm like, "I don't want to be reduced to just that." She's like, "You're too horny." So in the middle of an argument, I go, "I'm going to the bathroom to masturbate." I went to the bathroom, jacked off, came out and finished the argument.
Amazing.
And I was a little more amenable afterwards. I still believed in my cause, but I was like, "All right, what were we talking about? All right, yeah, no, it's all right. It's all right. Keep coming."
That's amazing.
And then I jade off the other day, and I was like running to the bathroom to finish it. And sorry guys, and like some of it came out, and I was like, "Oh, I lost it." And then I was like, "No, stay focused." And then I did it, and I was like, "I'm counting that as 2."
That's awesome.
And then I went into her room, and I was like, "Babe, I'm multiple." She's like, "I'm proud of you." I was like, "Thanks, babe." She's like, "What are you gonna do now?" I'm like, "I'm gonna go watch the movie Lock."
Go eat KFC.
I'm like, "I'm gonna go get KFC. I'll see you in a couple hours." She's like, "That's my man." Chad, who's your babe of the week?
My baby of the week is the show The Last of Us. Have you started watching it?
Dude,
yet?
I'm trying, bro. I can't get into it, but please
Can't
go,
get
go,
into it.
go, baby,
It's
go.
Fucking fungi zombies.
People love it. I know I'm in the wrong here. I'll get into it like a year from now. I know it. Go,
Yeah.
go.
I love it, dude. I haven't been this into a show in a while, so it feels good to have something to look forward to on Sunday nights. And you guys, if you haven't watched it, I don't need to get into the details, but it's on HBO. Last of Us. Pedro Pascal. I forget the girl's name, but she's awesome. So
Bella Ramsey.
Bella Ramsey.
Hell yeah, dude.
Check it out. It's
Sounds
so
like
good.
a WWE wrestler.
If you like a new kind of zombie, check it out.
Check it out.
I like that it's a cordyceps mushroom based. And
Yeah.
I feel like they
I
should
eat
tie
those.
in something, with like it came from Joe Rogan's new mood pills or something.
Dude, that was he was patient 0.
Yeah.
Rogan.
Dude, I took a new mood on accident thinking it was Alpha Brain, and I was tired for like 6 hours.
What's new move?
It's a new mood is it's supposed to help you sleep. I took it at the wrong time. It's one of their nootropics.
Oh, nice.
And I've taken Alpha Brain. That shit will have you firing on all cylinders. Like it helps you make sentences, but a massive headache afterwards. Dude, my baby of the week is Jake, our social media guy, our cameraman, our travel buddy. Dude, I think I'm a bit old, and sometimes I forget how much Jake understands that I don't understand. Like when he was showing me some of the metrics on like social media stuff, I was like, bro, you really understand. And then like I was kind of me and our buddy Pedro, we were driving somewhere, and I was like, we were kind of not trashing. We were like, oh man, we don't really like crowd work clips. And then he explained why crowd work clips are so effective because like it makes the viewer at home feel like they're there in that moment and experiencing it in real time.
Yeah.
And I was like, and it's a simple explanation, but I had missed it. And yeah, Jake's just really smart. He's the hardest working guy. Like he'll run through a wall.
Totally.
And it's like 24/7 too. Like we're always asking him stuff, and he always delivers. And he's a great guy on top of it. So I'm just really thankful that we get to work with him. And then also this whole Brendan Schaub, Mark Harley situation, where Mark Harley quit or got fired, and then like just started trashing Brendan on like all those threads that trash Brendan. I was like, I was at Starbucks with Jake, and I went up to him and I was like, hey man, you would never do that to us, right? She was like, what? I basically was like, dude, if I'm acting in a way that's not jiving with like how you feel like you should be treated as a person, just let me know, dog. Just let me know, bro. All right. And I was like, what do you want for coffee? I was like, do you want a donut? You want a donut? I was like, I love you. I love you, man. But yeah, he really, that's all fun. But I'm serious. He's a beast.
Jake's awesome. Love you, Jake.
Who's your legend of the week?
Dude, steak salad.
Bro.
I think that's my favorite food. Steak salad. Throw some olives in there, tomato, avocado, hearts of palm.
Well, dude, because on that health taste chart,
Yeah.
it's banging on both.
You feel good when you're eating it. You know it's good for you, and it tastes delicious.
It tastes delicious.
Everything about it is good. Steak salad, top food on the planet. I'm making it known.
Dude, my legend of the week is My legend of the week is me and Chad. We're flying home from Miami, and I put on Funny People on my TV, and he had no way of knowing I put on Funny People, and they had like 300 options. There was like 300 movies on there, and then Chad put on Funny People. And then I ran over and I grabbed him and went, Chad, I also put on Funny People. And then I turned it off after 20 minutes because I found it a bit navel-gazy. And then Chad turned it off after 20 minutes, not knowing I had turned it off after 20 minutes. And then I ran over and I was like, dude, I also turned it off after 20 minutes. And that was pretty magical.
That was awesome. Good moment.
That was crazy.
Good moment.
What are the chances?
Shout out to Miami, too.
Dude, forever legend. Oh, and dude, where we got Arepas.
Oh.
That's my legend of the week, too.
Yes,
Doggies.
yes.
In Biscayne, dude.
God, I love that place.
Some fire Arepas. Chat, what's your quote of the week?
My quote of the week comes from Steven Seagal.
Dude, what a ledge.
I'm hoping that I can be known as a great writer and actor someday, rather than a sex symbol.
Dude, honestly, though, that's got to be tough for him, dude.
It is.
You know, he's a martial arts expert. He's a thespian on the level of, you know, Olivier, of Brando, and then all people want to talk about it is his dick game. That'd be frustrating. Dude, I'm going with a classic here. It's from one of Chad's favorite movies, too. It's going to be a long one, guys, and I hope I perform the fuck out of it. That's all I can do. I believe that love that is true and real creates a respite from death. All cowardice comes from not loving or not loving well, which is the same thing. And when the man who is brave and true looks death squarely in the face like some rhino hunters I know, or Belmonte who's truly brave, it is because they love with sufficient passion to push death out of their minds, until it returns, as it does to all men. And then you must make really good love again. Think about it.
Can I say who that is?
Mm-hmm.
It's Ernest Hemingway in Midnight in Paris.
Let's go. Bro, Corey Stoll annihilates that shit. All right, you go, baby, you go.
Phrase of the week for getting after it is Aaron fucks.
Kunani. Aaron chased that Kunani. I don't even know what accent I'm doing, but I know Aaron chased Kunani. Aaron, why are you always on the prowl, bro? When will it end?
Just banging.
When will enough be enough, dude? How much ass do you have to get before you know you can get ass, dude?
Did that scene in American Psycho when he's flexing in the mirror like
Yeah.
himself bone? That was inspired by Aaron.
But you know what I like when you do it, Aaron? You make the girl flex, too. You go, babe, hit a double bicep while I hit it from the back. The back. The very back. Aaron, you're a dog, dude. Aaron, you a dog, bro. The listeners don't know. Like, we have trouble setting this up. Because we're like, hey, 4 o'clock on Monday. You're like, you know where I am at 4 o'clock on Monday. We're like, no, we don't. You're like, taking someone else on a ride. We're like, where? You're like, on the Bone Coaster.
Fucking beast.
And I fall for it every Monday. And I forget.
Freaking legend. What's yours?
Oh, phrase of the week for getting after it? I thought it was going to be Kunani, but actually, I'll do this. I'll do this.
Well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret that almost everybody else in this world automatically knows. Control is an illusion, you infantile egomaniac. Nobody knows what's going to happen next. Not on a freeway, not in an airplane, not inside our own bodies, and certainly not on a racetrack with 40 other infantile egomaniacs. Nobody knows and nobody controls anything. Now, you've gotten a glimpse of that and you're scared. You might not have the courage to race anymore. You may never have had it. God, I hate you for this, you son of a bitch. You make me sound like a doctor.
The music, too.
Dude, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I had a multiple right there.
No!
Yeah.
Big buku cum shots from the main man, dude. That's what Kidman will do in that movie, bro. The way she's challenging him. That's multiple city, dude.
All right. Stokers, thanks for listening. Come check us out on tour.
Yeah, please.
ChadJT.com.
Guys, we're
tickets.
going to... we're going to small towns and the crowds are smaller. Please, come. We're going to be in Tacoma this weekend. If you live anywhere in the Northwest, just cruise. It's so much fun.
Palm Beach, Dania Beach, the week after that, next week. We got Sacramento coming up. We got San Francisco coming up. We got Portland coming up. We got Raleigh coming up.
We're fucking hilarious and we're super earnest. Like, what else do you want?
It's great. It's great. So come on out.
Come on.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
If you need advice, these guys are real.